I'm cooking my way through Fergus Henderson's Nose to Tail cookbook.
Come on down to my house, let's eat.
Let's eat.
Come on down to my house, my treat.
Yeah, let's eat.
Been all around the world, toot toot, I'm a scooter girl. Come on down to my house, let's eat.
Yeah, let's eat.
Been all around the world, toot toot, I'm a scooter girl. Come on down to my house, let's eat.
Let's eat.
Thumbs up. I'm out. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of The Whole Beast, where I'm cooking my way through Fergus Henderson's cookbook, Nose to Tail. Okay, so this week we are making a onion, got it. We are making a onion, leek, potato, and oyster soup. That's right, we are gonna use these delicious oysters that I got from my local oyster joint in this soup, which I'm super excited about because I personally have never had soup with oysters in it. I know that's maybe a simple thing, but hey, I've never had it. So what we're gonna need today, we are going to need leeks. Got all these big ones here. Look at these wonderful leeks. It's like a baton. Do, 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 ha, ha, ha. Oh, yeah, you know, very graceful. Leeks, an onion. We got nice 4 potatoes and some garlic, and then of course some oysters, and then also I feel like I'm forgetting something. Right, stock. You're gonna need some chicken stock, or if you can find it, fish stock. So I'm doing 1 liter of each, so I'm gonna blend the fish stock and the chicken stock together. You should just ask your local fishmonger if they have some fish stock in the back you can buy, because I don't really think you can find it at a lot of grocery stores, but definitely specialty stores. But if you can't, just use chicken stock. So I found 1 liter of fish stock at my fishmonger's place, so I took that, but then I also have a liter of chicken stock as well from my butcher. So here we are, and let's get started. So let's get all of these leeks going. Oh God. I'm starting to cry a little bit. Last one. Okay, now that, whoops. Oh, I have some tears in my eye. Oh, a little bit teary from the leek, as it is in the onion family. Okay, so now we got this all chopped up, and so now we're gonna wash these and move on to the next step. Okay, now that we have all our leeks washed and cut, here we go. We are going to add 1 onion and 5 cloves of garlic, okay? So we are going to chop our onion. Again, for soups especially, we're gonna blend this soup. Super rough chop, you don't need to worry about getting anything precise into small, even pieces. Especially me, because I'm not great with my knife skills. Very rough. Just like me, I'm rough around the edges. I personally always double the garlic in a recipe. Woo! There it comes. Oh, the hit from the onion. Woo! Mama Jesus. Lord Almighty. I swear. Oh God. It's like such an after wave of this onion. Oh my God. Fuck. I am like tearing up. Fuck. Every time with onions. Okay. Probably shouldn't have just fucking touched my eyes either. Okay. Back to the garlic. I always double the garlic in any recipe that I do. Why do I do this? Because I fucking love garlic. One of my favorite ways to eat garlic is black garlic. and it's like candy to me. I can just fucking eat it all day. I can eat it all day. It's basically fermented garlic. So how they used to do it is they used to bury it in the ground and let it ferment in the ground. Nowadays, people use a rice maker or a dehydrator to basically just speed up the process. And it has way more benefits than raw garlic. There's a lot of fermentation benefits in there. So you're basically like tripling your benefits from raw garlic to fermented garlic to black garlic. I'll definitely probably do a video on it at some point because I love making it, and my friend has a garlic farm and his garlic is the fucking best. It is, yeah, Nona Naps garlic here in Niagara, and Anthony and his mom have been doing garlic for fucking years, and it's just the best garlic. They do garlic scapes, they blend them in oil, and you can get like a little thing of garlic scapes, or you can get like full bulbs. And then he does the black garlic as well. Okay, let me just go wipe my eyes and blow my nose because I'm just like running here. Okay, so back, face wiped, feeling better. Onions are in the air, but I'm not crying. That process is over. Okay, so we have everything in the pot, and now we're gonna basically cook this down. We don't wanna caramelize this at all. We just wanna sweat it till it kind of basically drops down in size, probably half. So we have room for our potatoes in this pot. So let's get a couple good chunks of butter and place it in there, and basically we're just gonna watch the magic happen as it's all cooks down, and then we can move on to the potatoes. Yeah, and we're gonna put the potatoes in next, and yeah, we'll go from there. I don't know how many times I just said okay yeah, but okay yeah. Let's watch the magic happen. Okay, so while the leeks and onion and garlic are cooking down in the back, let's get the potatoes ready. I was thinking, I'm like, I want to juggle these. Let me try it. It's gonna be so disastrous, but I wanted to try. Okay, let's just try two. Okay, two, and then, nope. That was a fail. Okay, my one potato's on the floor, so I have to go get it. It's fine, it's washed off, it's good, it's good. We're gonna peel our potatoes, and then we're going to chop them up, and then we're gonna add them to the soup mix. I guess it's not a soup yet, it's just basically all the onions that are cooked down. I don't know how people feel about potatoes. A lot of people love potatoes. Some people don't like potatoes. I am part Irish, part German, I'm part Dutch, so I'm definitely from Potato Europe, as Robbie likes to say, because he's Italian. He's from Tomato Europe. But I love the little fact of what they were called, because I'm a huge Shakespeare fan. I love theater, I grew up doing theater. And a fun little fact about potatoes is that during the Shakespeare era, they were called the apple of love, which I think is super cute. I think it's just because potatoes had a lot of love. You could do so much with one single potato. There's just a million different things you can do. I'm sure that back then they really didn't have a lot of versatility in the potato, but definitely now we have like 1,001 ways you can do potato dishes. But I think it was more of the fact that the potato gave you love. Like it was hearty, and it was something that you could add to feed a lot of people, and food is love, right? Food and love are hand in hand, and I think that's so romantic and cute that the simple, humble potato was called the apple of love. So there's a fun little fact that you can share with your kids, with your loved one, at your next dinner party when you're making this dish. Apple of love. Okay, so once we get all of these peeled, We'll chop them and then we'll add them when everything is cooked down in the pot behind us. So basically just to cook them, so you want them in light chunks. So the smaller you do the chunk, the faster obviously the soup is gonna cook. The soup is gonna cook. The potato will cook. Woo! My head's not on straight today. Well, there's a little truth to this. My head's never on straight, so I say things like that a lot. Okay, so our leeks and the onion and garlic are all cooked down nicely. So now we are gonna add the potatoes that we peeled and we're just gonna plop them on top. So like I said earlier, if you can find fish stock, that's really hot. If you can find fish stock, that's awesome, but if you can't, just use chicken stock. So it calls for 2 quarts and 1 quart is basically like a liter. So we're gonna do 2 liters of stock. So here is my chicken stock that I got from my butcher. And you always can tell a good motherfucking stock by how gelatinous it is. Like, look at that. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. I could just do that all day. And we're gonna plop that in. Like that. So anytime you're buying like a meat stock, it should be that gelatinous because that means they use a lot of bones. And then my fish stock was from the freezer, so I think it's still a little bit frozen, but it's all good, no problem. It'll melt down. So we're gonna add that into, yep, there's the frozen part. Okay. So now, basically we're gonna cook this down until, I keep touching that, it's hot. We're gonna cook this down until the potatoes are fully cooked. And you can just basically test that by piercing them with a fork or a knife until they are tender and basically fall apart. Because the next step we're going to do is basically pulverize this, says Fergus Henderson, which is a very English term we would call blending. So pulverize this, blend this, use your immersion blender, use your Vitamix, whatever you want to use. Basically, we're gonna take this and we're just gonna combine everything when we pulverize. I love that word, fucking pulverize. And when this all comes together, it is gonna be on point. And I'm super excited to get those oysters in. So while we let this cook down and do its thing, we can get the oysters prepped. So we are gonna be shucking our own oysters today. So you do not wanna buy pre-shucked or oysters that are already shucked because we want that good oyster liquor going into this pot. And trust me, it'll make a difference. So don't be cheating, buy whole unshucked oysters, and we're gonna do some shucking right now. And I'm probably gonna take my finger off, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go get the oysters from the fridge while this cooks down. Okay guys, so now it's time to shuck our oysters. We have these beautiful oysters from BC, and they are called Sunseekers, which I think is a great name for an oyster. Although Raspberry Point are probably one of my favorite oysters. I love Raspberry Point. You basically stab it with this oyster knife. I haven't shucked an oyster in a long time. So, little tip that I remember is if you see this little groove there, that's where you want to kind of dig in, and then you basically just like kind of maneuver back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you kind of pop it, and then the lid should come off, and then you just scrape the top off, okay? So let's see. So we just kind of go like this, and you're basically just moving kind of back and forth and like slowly kind of getting further in, and then you're gonna try to like pop it. Okay, there it goes, it popped. It popped. Okay, what a success that was pretty easy. I don't wanna get too excited because they might not all be that easy. All right, 1 in there, 12 to go. So we will, actually, sorry, you should always smell them. Smells delicious. Usually you can smell a funky oyster. Like when I sit at the oyster bar at our local oyster place, if they're popping open an oyster, it fucking danks like a dirty fucking fart. Someone's old gym bag that they left in their car for 7 weeks, and then a bunch of rotten fucking blue cheese that's been like just sitting in a hot car. All that together is basically what it smells like when someone fucking pops an oyster that smells bad. But they just have like matches at the bar, and so they'll just kind of like do their thing. And yeah, but it's if you basically, my point is, if you don't need to like sniff everyone, because if you pop open a bad oyster, you're gonna fucking smell it like right away. So but if you're like super paranoid about it, put it right up to your nose and smell it, and it should smell like a fresh, clean oyster. Nothing danky and like, you know, fishy smelling. So this one, definitely harder to open up, but here we go. I think I just need to have one because, oh, that was easy. I love oysters so much, and I can't just sit here and shuck all of these for the soup without having one. Oh, it smells so good. And I'll save the oyster liquor for the recipe because I'm nice. But I think it's like super important to have your first oyster always natural. Au naturel. Nice and naked. I love being naked. Back to Mother Earth, all there, and smells so good. I love that brininess that you get off of the West Coast oysters. And basically, you just cheers and it goes down the gully. Oh, that is so good. I could live off of oysters. Oh, I actually wish I could live off of oysters. I wish I could afford to live off oysters. That would be, I think, the main thing. I could definitely have them every single day of my life. They're so good, so fresh, and an aphrodisiac as well, just in case you didn't know. My perfect combination is Guinness and oysters. I know it sounds weird, but it is so bloody good. It is just something about it. They just pair so well together. Oh, yeah, anyways, okay, so let's shuck the rest of these and get going with the recipe so we can taste that soup. Okay, so let's get these shucked. Okay, so earlier we shucked the oysters and they're in here with the oyster liquor right underneath. There we go. Beautiful oyster liquor. Oh, smells so good. Basically just smells like a motherfucking fresh oyster. So we are going to add the liquor into the pot. So we'll just add it in there like this. Okay, and then we will give it a stir. And this is just, again, adding another layer of flavor. And you already have that fish stock in there, so you're getting all that umami from the different kind of fish bones that have been in the fish stock. And yeah, it's just giving it another layer of flavor. Okay, so let's give it another taste with that. Very, very subtle, but you got that little hint of oyster in there for sure. A little bit of brininess, so adds that like little bit of saltiness. Very, very good. Okay, licking the spoon, you know it's good. Okay, so now we have our oysters in here. So basically, however many bowls you're gonna serve, you're doing this right before you're serving your dish. So you can keep these separate in the fridge like I did while you're doing the whole process. And so then you're just gonna take a couple oysters and you're gonna put them in the bottom like that. And you have them in the bottom. I don't know if you can see this. No, you can't because they're sliding around. They're in there. They in there. Okay. And basically you're just going to take your beautiful soup and it's steamy and hot and you're gonna go right over the oysters like that. And I'm gonna get a nice oyster in here Let me find you. Let me find you. Can't really see, but it's there. My oyster. It's definitely not the most pleasant looking dish. It's kind of, you know, like a little like prison foodie kind of type. It's just like green, like slash. And then you have like the oysters in there that just look like clumps of like something that shouldn't be in your food. But it tastes fucking amazing. It tastes so good. It tastes so good. So let's get an oyster in on this bite. Mmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. That definitely gives it a whole different flavor. You're just like super smooth texture with that oyster when you like kind of, like I'm the type of person that bites their oysters. So basically like you bite into that oyster and you have this like smooth gushy feeling in your mouth that you get when you eat oysters, but then you have like all the aromatics of the onions and the leeks and the garlic and that brine that's in there, that oyster liquor. Oh, so good. Wow. All right, and I have this giant giant pot of soup to get through. I feel like I definitely need more than 12 oysters to finish this whole bowl of soup. But hey, put it in your freezer and go get some more oysters and then shuck fresh oysters and take it out of the freezer and eat it. I don't know. It is definitely delicious. I could eat this on a summer day. It's spring outside right now, so definitely not a winter soup. I think this is very vibrant and fresh. So any time of year for this soup for sure. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of Whole Beast, and we look forward to seeing you. I don't know, me and the food, I guess. I don't know, me and the food look forward to seeing you next week on our next episode. Bye.